listings magazine essentially. The practical purpose why people would pick this up is we've got a section where you've got the listings where people can see what's on. So the easiest thing you can compare us with is Time Out in London or Venue in Bristol. Essentially, what we've done that's slightly different is we're not just music focused or even events focused. We inject a lot of humour. We've got which I see as the reason why we have a lot of reader loyalty, is people pick up the magazine and enjoy it every month. And that is something that I enjoy writing as well. We've got this kind of quasi-news section called Bassett Rivers, the Bassett Rivers Echo. I don't know if you've ever seen The Onion or the Daily Mash or the Family Examiner. It's kind of based on that. So it's taking kind of satirical stories and just taking them to their illogical conclusions. And it's quite fun writing it. We also have an 8-year-old Agony boy. He's the one. He's on the inside back, and he's the one that when you talk to most readers, they turn straight to him and read his bit first. He's very popular. So we have columnists as well. We're light-hearted. Basically, our whole ethos is we write for the going out market. If you're down the pub, we want you to be able to pick up our magazine, enjoy it, and actually use that magazine as a guide for what you're going to do. Plan your month. I think people would pay for our magazine. I think it's a good magazine. It's a good quality product, and it is worth money. But it's I think what we would end up is cutting down our distribution points to such an extent that it would damage us with the advertisers and everything like that. As a small scale business as we are, the easiest way that we can distribute ourselves is through pubs for free. It doesn't cost us anything to do that apart from getting them physically there. Venue at the moment in Bristol has announced that they're going to end up essentially doing what we're doing and going free and monthly. And I think that's for magazines of our ilk, that is that is the future. With so much competition online and stuff, they can get the information there for free anyway. So we don't want to be in competition with that. We just want to be something that people pick up. We don't want to create a barrier for them to not pick us up. We want them to pick us up, and that's how we get the advertising. So we get about £10,000 to £12,000 out of both issues on a monthly basis, but that is very difficult. Especially we're dealing with the pub trade as well. Pubs have been a really, really badly hit industry in the recession. You've probably heard the stories about how many pubs are closing a day and stuff like that. So, a lot of our customer base has been wiped out. We're not shifting away from pubs, we're keeping pubs, but we're trying to just attract a few more diverse advertisers to just give us a stronger base as a business. We have our website, www.theocelot.co.uk. We have Facebook, we have Twitter. We also run competitions. We also have a letters page as well. People write in every month, usually trying to be funny, which is quite nice. We also have a section called Writer's Block, which is a section where we ask anybody to just write in 300 words. It can be fiction, it can be prose, it can be a column, it can be poetry, and we will get them published. So it's that, that's a way of aspiring writers to actually have some kind of platform that they can use. Which we try and interact with our readership as much as possible. Obviously, there's only a few of us here, so it's quite hard to get out there as much as we'd like. But we do hold events as well. We have a monthly comedy night, which is held in Swindon, which is great. It's a free comedy night every month. And that's brilliant. That's absolutely packed every time. We get to hand out magazines and we talk to people there. That's always popular. We're quite interactive with our social media. This is our Twitter feed. This is one that I did today. What do you get if you cross a sheep and a kangaroo? Lynched, as no one likes mad genetic scientists with a penchant for interspecies mayhem. It's a way that I can interact daily with my audience. Who every day I will do an update, just telling them the magazine's coming out, or giving them updates on who I've interviewed. Some of it, like Jimmy Carr, like we've done this time. So I found that really, really quite useful PR tool to use. At the moment, the iPad is something that everyone in the industry is looking at very closely. Essentially, the iPad is a tool that you can actually do everything and interact with a magazine or newspaper online and you can actually even read it like a newspaper. It's something that is a bit more of a different tool than the computer at the moment. So I think I can't predict where it'd go, but I do predict that it will, over the next few years, it might engulf the actual printed press. I don't think it'll ever take over the printed press altogether. People still like, I mean, for instance, my audience, they like to pick up the magazine in the pub they're in and read it as they're having a drink. So it won't entirely eclipse newspapers or magazines or print media, but it will. They will have to find ways to work together a lot more than they do now. And I think some are actually working very well with it. I mean, the Guardian is really good at. It's got the Guardian apps for iPhone and iPad. So everyone's looking at it in interest at the moment and seeing where that will go. We use a company called youdo.com at the moment who give us create a page flip magazine for us online, so people can read the magazine as they would, holding it online now, which is great. And this is it's for very high res and everything like that. There is ways that I could turn that into an app and do it, but we're a free magazine as well. It's whether how would that financially, what would be the financial gain at the moment for us to do that? Personally, this is my baby. This is the thing I've created. That would be my biggest personal achievement. But career highs, obviously, any byline you get in a national newspaper is always great. That's always been I've had quite a few of them. I went out to Kosovo at one stage, just after the Kosovan conflict, when the refugees from Albania were returning to Kosovo, and that was an eye-opener. That was very interesting. And with a newspaper, it was great. You'd wake up in the morning and not know what you'd be doing that day. Every day is a different day, and there'll be some stories that last a few weeks, but you tend to end up not knowing where you'll be, and that's great. That's a great thing about newspapers. But it does take its toll as well. Every day you're working to a new deadline, and suddenly this is a totally different kettle of fish. When I started this is a monthly deadline, where I'm not having to write 5 or 6 stories a day or just churn stuff out. I'm able to take my time and concentrate on the writing a bit more. Actually write a bit more how I'd like to write as well. I do a lot of humour-based writing, so that is great. I can actually, I'm my own boss. I can write what I want, interview who I want. So for me, going from being a reporter, coming to this and just suddenly being in at the deep end, having to run my own business, that was a huge, massive change. A lot of the time I spend at the moment isn't just writing; it's doing the administrative stuff. Actually, dealing with the payroll, it does bring different stresses. Also, it's the financial burdens on me. So I'm looking at the figures every month, and that's you've got that stress that you don't have at a newspaper when you're working for someone else. But yeah, I would say that I do appreciate exactly how the magazine industry works now. I think I've learned a lot. I've learned, I've put myself in at the deep end. I think design-wise, we've got better. I think we've got better. I try and improve the magazine every month, it is a difficult job, but it's got its own rewards, which reporting has its rewards with different rewards, if you know what I mean. If you look at every facet of the industry that I deal with, first of all, I've got to get the writers together. That's actually probably the easiest part. There's so many people who want to write, so many people who want to contribute, so many people who want to build up a good byline base so that they can launch their own careers. And I like to be helpful in that respect. So putting the magazines together is not hard. I built up design. I've got designers who do the ads. There's that's been quite an enjoyable part, meeting that side of things. Printers, the printers I use, we've gone through about 4 or 5 different printers in the time that I've been doing anything. I've only been going 5 years. It's a competitive market, printing, and obviously I look for the best quote at all times, to get this printed as cheaply but as good quality as possible. Over time, you make mistakes. Over time, you kind of build up the actual. You work out the best ways of doing things. You work out the best ways of distributing the magazines. You work out the best ways of what printers to use, what quotes what price you should be paying. As time goes on, you make less and less mistakes. One of the hardest things about this job is credit control. So you not only get money in from the advertising, you've then got to chase that money to get that in, because that's being a small business. Every aspect of it is just done, through just us 4 people here. So it's quite intensive. It's quite hard work, but it's definitely worthwhile.